Hey, this is Robbie Robertson, and I'm the owner of Carolina Living Real Estate and Property Management. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about property management, our ideas about it, and a little bit about our company. I hope that you'll forgive me if you'll see me looking away a little bit. I have notes that I'm going to try to adhere to and points I want to get across. So it may look like I'm looking away, but the first thing I want to talk about is why you might choose a property management company. Um, the first and foremost thing that I want to mention is choice of tenants. This is actually the key to a successful relationship with any kind of rental property. And one of the things we have found is that some owners, which I'll talk to in a little bit, um, tend to get too involved personally with tenants. And so we have learned that it's very important to do very stringent uh, background checks. The service that we use also gives us a nationwide eviction report. It gives us very extensive information, and we have actually a very good track record at Carolina Living Property Management for um, not having to evict tenants, which is actually a very good thing. Our occupancy has been very strong, and we believe it's because of everything we do up front. Um, the other thing that I'll tell you is from a homeowner's perspective, the next thing that is really, really important is cash flow and reserves. Uh, we actually, while we are in the business to make money, we realize cash flow is so very important to have a successful rental property, which is why we do two things that are a little bit different. One of the things is we only charge 8% management fee, while some of the larger companies will charge you 10%. And the other thing, and even more importantly, is that we do not charge any upfront fees to find a tenant. Since we are realtors and advertise on the MLS, and we are all across the internet, we do tell our owners to offer a small commission to an outside firm that may bring us a qualified tenant, but that's your only out-of-pocket costs when to put a new tenant in there. We realize we're leaving money on the table, but at the same time, we are in a partnership with our owners. And a successful owner will give us referrals, will possibly later on hire our firm to sell the property. There's just a lot of goodwill with not trying to take so much money from our owners up front. The other thing I'll say is it's very important for owners to have some sort of reserves. We deal with a lot of owners uh, that aren't investors that decided to rent their houses during a down market and couldn't sell. The biggest problem they have is if something goes wrong and they have nothing in reserves, or if for some reason a tenant does pay late, they have nothing in reserve. So it's real important that before you make this decision, that you do have a little bit in reserves, even if it's just 1 month's mortgage payment. That is so very important. The other thing I'll mention is that your property management company should be a professional company, not just some realtor that decides they want to manage property. We are a member of the National Association of Property Managers. We are realtors. We're a member of the board. We take this very, very seriously. And we also take very seriously understanding the ins and outs and the laws of what makes a successful relationship. That's the next thing I want to mention is that's kind of difficult with owners, and that is understanding the process of if you have to evict, how do you handle damage, things like that. You need to understand everything about the showing restrictions, getting into the house, damage, and things like that. That's our job to be able to communicate that to you so that you have a firm understanding. And we try to communicate this up front. I want to show you a couple things here that are brochures that we give to all our owners. I think they're upside down, but it's about tenant security deposits and renting property. And we give that to our owners so they have a firm understanding up front of what they can expect, because communication is key in this whole relationship. One of the things is we're not the biggest, but we strive to be the best at communicating. That is so key to this. Some of the larger firms that manage hundreds and hundreds of properties, I know they struggle. They struggle with the day-to-day communications, the communicating when there's a possible problem in the house that needs a repair. The other thing I'll tell you is that it's important for your property management company to have the vendors lined up to handle those types of repairs. We go over all of this with our owners, and we are prepared, no matter when it is, to go in and correct things at the best possible price. That's the key thing. We are not making money on your pain. In other words, we're not taking money off the top to dispatch somebody out to make a repair. It's our job to make sure that that tenant wants to be retained, because we don't make money if nobody's in that house. I'm jumping around a little bit, but the other thing that is kind of important to me, and I like to communicate, is I run into owners calling me that say, "Will you take this over for me? I can't do it anymore." They're oftentimes, they got people that are paying late, they're getting near eviction, and they don't have the stomach for an eviction. If you're in this boat, then you need to not manage that property, because it's not an easy thing, and you can't let it be personal. When that rent's due on the 1st and we don't have it on the 5th, that letter goes out on the 6th. We don't communicate with them anymore, except for through writing. And the main reason is we know everybody's got a story. So we've heard all the stories, at least we think we do. So we try to just not get involved on a personal level, and that's really hard to do for an individual owner. We also have our real estate commission attorneys at our disposal. If we're unsure, we make a phone call. We're not going to just guess. We're going to do the right thing by our owners. The other thing that we do is we don't mandate, but we try very hard to get our tenants to allow us to do an auto payment. We can take credit cards. We can do an ACH debit. We try to make this as seamless as possible so we're not chasing mail. Now, some people prefer to do it that way. I've not found a law that says I can mandate it, but if it's something that you as an owner mandate, then I can certainly mandate it that way. The next thing that I want to talk about is just security deposits a little bit. The biggest question mark that owners have is when somebody's vacating is, what is normal wear and tear? It's a really gray area. It's something that can really only be remedied by the owner being prepared with documentation. By documentation, I need pictures. Either you want us to take them, I prefer owners to take them, but we will take pictures. It's real important to have before and after. One of the things that comes up a lot is people hanging pictures in the holes in the walls. We attempt to put in our leases, add an addendum that talks about them actually patching those holes. We cannot make them paint the entire house, but we can make them actually patch those holes in a professional manner. We went to court one time over this. We had pictures before and after, and to pat ourselves in the back, we had our owners 100% prepared to win that case, in which they did. They were able to keep the security deposit, which the tenant was trying to actually fight, but we had all the documentation necessary to actually win. Property management is a very difficult business from the standpoint of people are people. I laugh about it all the time that you can expect the unexpected. We try to do a really good job up front. In that we try to make sure that the tenants, have the income, have the right kind of job. Excuse me. Self-employed people, it's very difficult. We would never discriminate because we're bound by laws. However, we can discriminate by type of job. If we're not comfortable with their income, if we're not comfortable with the type of job they have, But the good thing about this is that we gather all this information. We present it to our owners. We obviously give recommendations, but ultimately it's your choice. And the last thing I'll talk about a little bit is pets. It seems like that every time I turn around, 70% of the population has a pet. It's owners are scared to death what pets are going to do to their house, and I understand that. We collect a pet fee. But it's just something that you got to weigh to yourself. You are eliminating a certain segment of the population when you say you won't allow pets. We don't force anybody to take pets. We just want everybody to know that your reserves need to go higher and that it may take longer to get it rented. Those are just some of the things that we have learned over time. Our company name is Carolina Living Real Estate and Property Management. We're a full service property management company and real estate company. We currently manage 94 homes to date in and around the Charlotte and Lake Norman area. And we try to keep that number around 100 because our communication level is stellar when we don't get too many properties. And we also keep our vacant inventory very low that way, which all of those aspects are very important to us. It just allows us to do a better job. Our website, I'll give you a shortcut, is www.cltpm, which again is a shortcut to our real website. It's just easier to type in. My phone number is 704-451-7051. My name is Robbie. And if you are thinking about renting your house, if you're an investor that needs help with deciding, where to purchase, what the possible rent may be, your return on your investment, you can call us. We have experience work with investors, and we can help you in that matter. I hope you've enjoyed this little tiny quick blurb about us and about some of the aspects of property management. You can always call me and I can answer any questions that you have. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.